Good morning, everybody. How's it going today? I decided I want to come on today and get a little serious with everybody and talk to y'all about how Tony and I got here, why we decided to pretty much downsize and sell everything and move out into the country, and just kind of give y'all some truth there. It's going to be very interesting, so stick around. Cupcake and I are loading up right now to go and let the ducks and the chickens out. Got my coffee, and we're going to check on the quail, and we're going to take y'all along with us. It's going to be a good video. Y'all hang around. All right, guys. How's it going today? Banana is coming on to speak some truth today. And I want to take y'all along with me and Cupcake this morning to go let the chickens out, check on the quail and the ducks. Got my coffee. It's a beautiful morning. So y'all stick around. This is going to be a very interesting video. I want to talk to y'all about why Tony and I moved here, why we sold our beautiful home that we custom built. Now it's been 18 years ago, raised our son in, that we noticed is up for sale again, by the way, and moved out into the country and started to learn to become self-sufficient. We do have our reasons, and I'm gonna talk to y'all about that, because I do believe it is part of our purpose as why we are here. We are here in this time for a reason. And I want to share with my brothers and sisters some truth. So stick around, okay? Good morning, girls. Good morning. Let's go out and play today. Let's go play today. I hear my rooster, my little Banny Roo-Roo. Crooked be getting her deep feeding. All the girls want to be a part of it. Well, I think we might have 2, maybe 3 roosters in here now. Howdy. We've now started letting the Bannies and Beethoven and Wildflower. I have 3 Polish. We've started letting them run the run with the big girls because it's big enough. We've tried to acclimate them for several weeks by keeping them separate in a cage out here, and so far so good. They have their little moments, but the little ones can get away. Here's Patience. I still don't have an egg from her yet. Tony's named her Milk Dud. I have these little screens and stuff set up. My little Bannies can hide behind those. There's some water over there for them. Anyway, it's working out great. All right, let's let you look at the ducks. I can hear my quail this morning. The ducks are doing good. They were swimming late last night in the pool. I'll be changing that water today. And we're still working on the quail aviary. We're going to do a whole border of a raised flower bed where I'm going to plant these blackberries and raspberries, banana plant, and a satsuma tree over there. Okay, so let's go back to Cupcake. We're going to make a drive on the other side. Good morning, Hollyberry. Good morning. I don't know where to look in this camera. I'm still using my phone. I do have a camera that Drake gave me. Right now my laptop is not cooperating. It's not connected to Wi-Fi. Anyway, so we're still using the phone at the moment. And we're parked right here in between and I got my selfie stick today, so I can be on the camera and talk to y'all face to face. I know sometimes I'm not always doing that, but here I am, and I'm grateful you're here with me. So I'm parked between the deer run and the chicken run. It's real shady here, and we can watch the chickens from the side by side. We do like to sit in the chicken run, and we were doing that with Cupcake. But she is a dog, and she likes to eat chicken poop. So we no doing that with her anymore because she can get sick from it. So no more of that. And I hate that for Cupcake. I'm trying to figure out a way where I can still bring her in there and be a part of the pack. So I don't know what I'm going to do yet. But anyway, so I want to talk to y'all about why Tony and I made the decision to move. Well, first of all, we've always had it in our scope since we met. We've been married since 1994, and we started our marriage out with a jet ski pontoon rental business on Lake Sam Rayburn. We had that going for a good 5 years, where, you know, he pretty much worked his full-time job, and he did that business on the weekends as well. And, you know, it was a lot, but it was fun. It was a really neat experience. And once Drake came along, which was probably 2 years after we were married, we had Drake, and we wanted to focus more on the family than business. So we sold everything, and we basically had an acre of waterfront property in the coves at Rayburn, and it had a small little creek going through the property. And we were like in love with that little small stream. Okay, it was like a little nothing, but anyway, it meant something to us, and it was also on the water, so which was fabulous because Rayburn, Lake Sam Rayburn is fabulous. If you ever want to look it up. Anyway, so we sold our commercial property for the business. We sold our acre waterfront that we had in the cove. And at that time, when we bought all of that and we had the business going, and before Drake came along, I just felt we were going to eventually live at Rayburn, and I was going to open up a beauty salon and cater to the Rayburn country ladies. You know, I even had a salon drawn up and everything. It was all planned out in my dreams. But God had different plans for us. We ended up selling, like I said, all of that to be more of a family, focus on Drake rather than the business. And we lived in a small home that we started. Something's biting me, guys, so forgive me here. But anyway, we lived in a really cute little home that was an older home built on piers. It was remodeled from the previous owners, and that was our first home together as a family, and we absolutely loved it. We considered staying there indefinitely. You know, we thought about buying a lot next door and just adding on to it and everything, but it was like right smack dab in the middle of the city, and you know, it was a neighborhood, an old neighborhood, so there wasn't a whole lot of nice houses around it, so it didn't seem like it was probably the right thing to do at the time. So we sold all of that and set out to build a house that we raised our son in, which was on 2 acres. We lived in an apartment for a while we were under construction with that home. It was very custom built. It was just fabulous. Every nook and cranny was just elegant and fabulous. And that is, you know, part of Tony and I's creations together. We like to put our touches on things and create an atmosphere that we enjoy. And at that time, that was something that we were attracted to, which is sort of like a, what would I call it? It was more of an Italian style home, I guess you could say. And we had brick and stone, and we had stained concrete. We had this fabulous, huge fireplace made out of stone and brick. And we just really created some really good memories there with Drake, where he was raised and went to school and everything. And I thought we lived on the largest amount of property, 2 acres. I was so proud of the land because I just thought it was a whole lot. I've never lived on land before. And you can do a lot with 2 acres. You can even do a lot with 1 acre as a homesteader. But at the time, Drake graduated from school. He was, experiencing life and trying to find himself. He's doing really well, by the way. Has a great career going. And it was time for Tony and I to really think about things and to kind of consider downsizing and making a move. I did, I closed my business that I had for 20 years, the Candle Cottage, in 2014, and I was completely lost. I made the decision to close. I could have stayed open and kept trying to make it work, but I got tired of the hamster wheel and chasing the dream and having no paycheck. And although I loved my customers and I loved the business atmosphere, I've always loved business. I've been doing it since I was in high school. I was in Business Professionals of America in high school, and I've been working ever since, and I just have this love for business. But it was time. I felt it was time to let it go. I felt God telling me to put it down. I need you focused right here, Shanna. And I didn't still know quite what that was until 2016. But I'm going to back up back to 2014 again. The day that I was closing or having my closeout sale for the Candle Cottage, Holly Berry was born. Look at her behind me. Oh my gosh. She hit the ground at 12 hours old, and I left my cell with one of my friends. I got to go get my girl. And I drove, it was probably an hour away to go get Holly Berry, and immediately started bottle feeding her. So I bottle fed her for 4 months. She was in a diaper in our home. And I have video on here of all of that. You can look way back. She's 7 years old now, y'all. So that tells how long this has been. But that was the start of me and Tony bringing animals onto our 2 acres of land. And it was a woody, it was so, the way we cut trails and to get to our house, and it's kind of like we are here now too. It seems like we were able to replicate that, but God blessed us with even more land. And so, you'd go wind through the woods to get to our house towards the back. And then behind the home, most of the 2 acres was in the front of the home. Behind the home, we had quite a bit where we could have a mini little farm. Well, I then brought in chickens. I then brought in two pigs. I brought in 2 goats. And we packed it up in there pretty tight. And then we had turkeys at one point, which I loved. They were just amazing to me. They were so funny and friendly, and tameable. Everything's pretty tameable. It's amazing to know that with your animals, like farm animals, you can really train them to do things. So it got a bit too much. And looking back at it now, I do feel it was a sort of a wilderness season and a healing season for myself and for Tony. I was, healing from letting go of my business. That was my second child, and I raised Drake on my hip running that place, and we climbed many, many mountains, and we got way to the top, and we get kicked way back down. We get way to the top, and we get kicked way back down. And so it was what I called my therapy. I said that for so long. I said that for the past several years, that those animals were my therapy. And do y'all want to watch the chickens, or do y'all want to watch me? Let's flip it for. Okay, so let me stop this in case I run out of room on here. Hold on. Okay, I didn't want to lose that video. We spent 4 years with animals in my backyard. The one thing that I loved gardening and stuff, and I started doing that when we first moved into our custom home. I had many pot plants, and they were beautiful, and I was good at it. My mom is a green thumb, and I learned a lot from her, but I don't know everything, but I loved planting herbs, and I did dabble in all of that. But when the animals came along, that's pretty much all we focused on. We didn't focus on like gardening, which we had the space for. If we were still there now, let's say, the whole place would be a garden. Anywhere I could put one, or more of an orchard. And we did have, some fruit trees, grapefruit and lemons and limes. But we learned a lot, and we didn't realize it until now. And that's why we spent the time to set this chicken up run the way we did. We do not want the chickens near our cabin. We do not want them on our porch, on our patio. And we had those issues on the 2 acres. It was a little too close to the house. We should have put it maybe a little further up where the more of the property was. You know, but still, we learned from it, and I think we have a wonderful setup now. I'm very proud of Tony for his imagination and what he's come up with. Right now we have the temporary shrimp net we had to go to a wedding, and I really needed my ducks to be free while we were gone because they go through water so fast. So we temporarily put that up. We have a really nice black net ordered. We're waiting to come in. It's going to be set up a little nicer over there. Okay, so let's fast forward now to 2016. So during my healing time with my animals, that's 14, 15, 16. That's 3 years I was on a sabbatical. And when I say I was on a sabbatical, I wasn't around anyone but my animals. I was not around my friends anymore. I was not around much of my family anymore. Occasionally I'd pop my head out, you know, say if I'd go to dinner with my family, or I would go to work, you know, at the salon. But I had my own room, and I'd be back in that room with my one client, and after I was done, I'd go back home to my animals. So I was truly on a sabbatical from humans. I was, and it was very lonely. However, I knew God wanted me in that space, in that moment. I knew He did. Beyond a shadow of the doubt. 100% knew He had me there for a reason. I didn't know why, and I trusted Him that He had my life set the way that it was for a reason. The good news is, I did use that time to enjoy our son. Not that I never did that before, because he always came first before the business. Always. I was homeroom mom for 4 or 5 years, and when he was in kindergarten and up, and you know, I always put him first. I moved him from, you know, the school that he was in to where my business was for 3 years, so that I could be closer to him and go see him at lunch and things like that. But there was still in between that hustle and bustle of trying to run that business. I was sipping my coffee. So I spent that time enjoying our son, enjoying my husband, learning recipes, cooking. I always, you know, tried to provide a meal, and just family time, you guys. It was amazing. And I'm so glad that happened, because time flies. Now we have our son who's independent. He's got his own place, and I'm just so grateful for the time that God told me to slow down and focus on family and not business. There was still something that was bothering me, and I would pray to God. I prayed this one prayer one evening, and I was in my pajamas quite a bit. And if you know anyone that has ever retired, I don't know if you've seen it, but it seems like it's an adjustment for people to retire. You've really got to have a hobby, or you'll go to a depression. You'll stay in your pajamas all day long if you don't have something to do. And I'm here to tell you, I was experiencing that. And so I was moping in my PJs one day, going to my bedroom up under this room that was above the hallway there, and I prayed to God earnestly from my heart, God, please reveal truth to me. I need to know some truth. I felt this thick, heavy oppression over my soul, and I could not shake it. And when I prayed that prayer, immediately He put on my heart, why were 33K emails deleted? Down the rabbit hole I went. And it started with, Waikiki, their pool is leaking. That's talking in code, so try to figure that out. And I've been in the rabbit hole ever since. And I have zero regrets. And if anyone has tried to talk to you about it and you shook it off and you looked at them like they were crazy, sad. Because if you don't see it by now, I don't know how else anyone's going to. So I slowly tried to share things that I was learning with Tony, my husband. And that's, like I said, 2016. We made an offer on this property in January 2020. We had been trying to sell our home. We actually found 30 acres with a 5-acre pond. We put an offer on. We lost it because our home hadn't sold yet, and someone was able to buy it with probably cash. You know, we weren't ready to do that. So it wasn't our first time to seek land and sustainability after I woke in 2016. So we had to get our house in order after we lost that 30 acres in the 5-acre pond. You know, I basically just got a realtor and put our house up for sale, but yet we didn't get our house in order. And God started showing me everything that I needed to get rid of in our home. And I'm talking, I had bonfires, I had Harry Potter videos I burned, books, anything to do with the freaking Matrix. It got burned. We had an estate sale, and I didn't dare put anything in that estate sale that would harm someone else. I burned it all. We had 2 dumpsters, $600 to have a dumpster put on our property twice. You know, when you have a business for 20 years, you accumulate a lot of stuff that comes home from that when you close. And so I spent, and there's video on here, I believe, of me going through all my Candle Cottage memories and throwing things away. There was a time that I got a book called Angel Numbers 411. I kept seeing the number 411, and I wanted to know why. And this is when MySpace was around. And this book became like a part of me for like 4 years. It was so tattered. I'd use it all the time. I was reading license plate. What does this mean? What is God trying to tell me? You know, I was relating everything to God because the book related, you know, had Jesus in the book and everything. But it was a lie. And it was a New Age book. And when I prayed 2016 for God to reveal truth to me, and I walked up under that room that was upstairs, that was my meditation room, where I had my Bible, but I also had that New Age book in there. It wasn't until 4 months after he woke me up to the rabbit hole that I went down, but it was about 4 months later he started showing me that stuff in that room needed to be burned. You need to get it out. So I cleaned our home, and the home was beautiful. When we sold it, it was we got rid of all the clutter and all the knickknacks that didn't have purpose in our life. And we had some things touched up on the home. We needed to do a few things, you know, like paint some murals on the walls that needed to go because they were custom and personalized for our family. And so we started getting our house in order. And then this land came along, and I was like, we are not missing this boat. I'm going to sell this house myself. So I got into for sale by owner, FSBO, I think is what it's called. I started listing it, had banners made, and I wrote the most beautiful write-up about our home and our experience with our home. And it, to me, I'm not trying to dog on realtors at all. But when you sell your home yourself for sale by owner, I personalized it because I didn't have to go by their rules, you know. So I talked about our beautiful experiences there, and that we hope that a family can come along and enjoy our home the way we did. I had pictures of our kitchen with Thanksgiving food, and you know, just how the house was used in our time that was there, full of love and life. And do you know, I sold that house in the middle of the start of a pandemic. And Tony and I prayed to God that, you know, as much as him and I wanted this property here and to make this move, we could just taste it. We would sit out on our back patio, visualizing being here. We wanted to be here, not there. But we didn't want it if God did not want it for us. And so we prayed for God's will to be done, not ours. And here we are. And God's been trying to tell me since we've been here to get on here and talk to y'all and tell y'all my truth. And I've tried to do it in subtly, and I don't know if anyone's picked up on it or not. But as time continues to go on and we see baby formula being pulled, and you know, there's so many scenarios out there, y'all, and I'm just going to tell you, when I tell y'all I've been down the rabbit hole, I've seen everything. Okay. And I'm a curious person. Does it mean I believe everything that I see? No. But God gives us discernment. And I believe he has kept me safe from going down a rabbit hole that I didn't need to be down. But we have to look. We have to know our enemy. You don't go into battle and not be prepared. So, I guess what I hope to get across today is that feeling that you're having, that you need to be doing something different than what you're currently doing, getting prepared for your family. I'm hoping that this is that brick that's hitting you and telling you, make the move. Since we've moved here, you guys, we have neighbors far between, but guess what? They're here for each other. I have never, in the city life, even though we lived out of the city limits when we were on that 2 acres, I thought we were in the country, okay? But we really weren't. But still, we were a little further out than, you know, most neighborhoods and stuff. We have been given so much, not just, you know, produce and, you know, boxes of potatoes and stuff, which is absolutely amazing, but knowledge. We've learned so much from these country folk out here. They're so knowledgeable, and they're helping us, you know, learn the country life living. And it's just, my parents raised me and my 2 sisters camping in the woods in tents. That was our vacations. You know, my parents were middle class and they had very good jobs and put us through college and 3 weddings, and just, we were so blessed. Mom and Dad, thank you. But they also taught us how to rough it. And we grew up in the woods, and I said, you know what? We're going out in the woods. And I love it. So yesterday, Tony and I, we picked some corn. This is our 3rd season, you guys, to try to grow corn. And we were only successful this season. And we're both so excited. Like, you can't even believe how excited. Like, first thing this morning, I get a text on my phone from Tony. Find out how we need to prep corn. I'm like, got it. So last night we made a delicious meal from the garden, and I'll try to add it to this video at the end. I have a TikTok, you guys. It's Pharaoh Forums. If you want to go there, I do little short clippets of some things that we do here. That's kind of our goal today, is to get the rest of our corn pulled. And we have like 17 ears of corn, y'all, and we think it's just amazing. It's not. I'm like, Tony, it's really not a whole lot, but yet that soup I made yesterday, I'd be super happy to have that vacuum sealed, the corn in my freezer waiting on me to make another soup like I did yesterday. It was a chicken, coconut, squash, herbal, delicious, healthy soup. And then we made a salad out of all our greens we pulled yesterday. But what I want to say about that gardening is, it is our 3rd season, and we still have a lot to learn. And this season, we have attempted, instead of fighting grass, we have had this right here. This is exactly what we used. Yes, water does go through it and all. That's in our garden right now. I'm sure you've seen it in some of the previous videos, and we thought, let's try the mat method this year. Burned the holes, you know, so many inches apart or whatever. It didn't do so great in the fall, but there's really not a lot you can plant in the fall. In, you know, spring planting, I couldn't wait to get to it. There's so much more you can plant. It's doing great. And my point is that, you know, I know some people probably have in their mind, and I had this in my mind too, I'm going to just start buying seed and saving seed and storing seed so that when I can't get food anymore, or, you know, things shut down or what have you, whatever's to come, then I'll start growing my own food. But you have to understand there's a learning curve, and you really need to start getting your hands dirty now. And if you can do it right where you're at. You know, I know some people may be struggling making a move. There are tons of videos on YouTube of ways to grow food if you live in an apartment or you don't have a whole lot of property. It can be done. If you need me to give y'all some suggestions on that, just leave it in the comments. I'm happy to direct you to some other homesteaders that can teach that for you. Or, you know, I can tell you some things as well, like pots and stuff like that. But herbs are very easy to grow in pots. So my video's getting a little long. I just woke up this morning, and I got inspired by Appalachian. I don't remember her channel full name, but she has a video that really hit me. And what hit me about it, you know, she's trying to wake people up. It hit me in a way that I need to be doing exactly what she's doing, because I'm where she's at. I pretty much feel that. I feel like she's been awake in the rabbit hole. I can tell by things she's saying. And I apologize for not doing it sooner, which, like I said, I've tried, but I just trickle it in, you know. So I'm going to try my best to get on here and encourage y'all a little harder, a little stronger to start focusing on getting your house in order, getting organized, getting rid of clutter that you cannot think be past, because it's got you so weighed down. It's like a dark cloud just hovering over you, and it makes it hard to do anything. And once you get rid of it, it's so much easier to get out there and go shopping and not want to pick another item up. I do like, you know, to buy. I get into little collectible things every once in a while or what have you, but I think harder about it now. So I'm at 19 minutes and 22 seconds, and I have other videos to attach to this. I hope you all have a blessed day. Tony and I are going to pick blueberries. We have like about 5 blueberry farms right around us. We're going to go Friday morning at 7 a.m. to pick some blueberries to stock in our freezer. And Tony is picking up our Azure Standard order tomorrow, I believe at 3 o'clock. I've got some great stuff coming from Azure Standard. If I have some time, I will try to do a video showing our Azure Standard order, some of the products that we did get. I'm going to end it here. Thank y'all for being with me, and let me know what you think. Let me know, have you been in the rabbit hole? Let me know, have you been having this gut feeling that you need to be doing something? Is there anything I can comment back to you that will encourage you even more? I'm happy to do it. Have faith. Shine your light. Share the blessings. Do not live in fear, but use your brain that God gave you. We're here for a reason. The time is now. And I'm going to leave the Appalachian video in the description below, guys. Okay? Love you. Bye. I do want to add, the reason I felt God had me in the wilderness at that time, I knew He had me there for a reason, is because He wanted me to wake up. And if I had continued on the path that I was on, I wouldn't have paid attention to it. So He had asked me to be still And I was, as lonely as it was, I was just, like I said, I'm so glad he put me there.